Good morning. We're on the record in case D 392854, Cynthia Balle versus Peter Balle. Counsel, your appearance for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Preston Rosé on behalf of...
Okay, say your name for the record, please.
Preston Rosé.
No, Mr. Rosé, I heard you. I just didn't hear the opposing party. Miss Balle, your appearance, please.
Cynthia Balle.
Okay, are you representing yourself today, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, I'll get to that in a minute. Yes, technically, yes.
Okay, all right. I'll have to figure out what that is. This is a time set for the calendar call. We have the evidentiary hearing trial is set for the 24th. I'm looking. I have stack one. I have the 24th and the 25th at 1:30 p.m. Are the parties prepared to move forward with the evidentiary hearing?
Judge, if I may, we did... I'm sorry. Was that you, Your Honor?
I said it. I also have the third day. I have 2 half days and a whole day, right? The 24th, right. 25th, and 26th. So I'm just curious what the status of the case is, counsel.
Judge, we prepared our pretrial memorandum. We sent it to the plaintiff's last known address, which I know not to be her address anymore. We haven't exchanged any exhibits. She, from what I understand, moved in October of 2020. I've made several attempts to obtain an address from her by email. She's simply refusing to provide it to me or my client. So I haven't been able to get any exhibits over to her. I'm not sure what her trial readiness, if she's ready to move forward. I'll let her comment on that, but I do have some obstacles that I do need to address with the court.
Okay, ma'am, I'm going to hear from you. What is your status as to ready to move forward?
Okay, well, I have some big obstacles as well. The first one, there was supposed to be a lawyer here to represent me today. However, they left a message saying that they could not do it, so I have that issue going on. I've contacted the bar, and I'm trying to deal with that.
Okay, let me ask you this. When you say you're contacting the bar, are you looking for a private attorney, or are you looking, what have you been doing, or who's the attorney that you're supposed to, is it private, or what is it?
Yeah, this was a private attorney.
Okay.
Yeah, so they just didn't do anything, and they're not even on the record. They haven't done anything, and they kept fees. So the only thing I can do is go to the bar and explain that to them and see if they could do anything. But for right now,
can you tell me when did you retain them, ma'am?
In February.
Okay, so you retained counsel in February, and you paid them a retainer?
Yeah.
Okay, you signed a retainer with them?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so that's what your obstacle. Mr. Rosé, you said you had some obstacles as well. Can you tell me what yours are?
Honor. Well, Your Honor, I wasn't done yet. Please, if I can have just a moment more.
Okay.
As far as my address goes, so I was illegally evicted in September. It was reversed because it was illegal, what the landlord did, but there was nothing I could do about it. She moved everything out.
Okay, I don't really care about that portion. I care about whether your address is updated in our system.
Yeah, I've not. Okay, so anyway, I've not had any problem receiving any mail whatsoever. If he's saying that he is sending it there, it would get to me. And I haven't refused to give anybody an address. I don't have actually my own address. Okay, because of the pandemic, because of the lack of work, and there are a lot of things to deal with. There are a couple of things I needed to bring up to you right away. One, the amount that they're taking from the money I do make is about 300 times what they should be taking. I don't make that. The DA will not do anything because we're supposed to come to court with you, so they said to wait. So, like, for instance, $500 a month, and you guys are taking $350.
Okay, let's address one thing at a time, okay, Ms. Balle? I'll let you have more time.
Okay,
let me address
there's
this
one more
issue
thing.
with you. Let me address your address issue with you. So my concern with your address is there's minor children involved. Why is it that Mr. Rosé does not have your proper address, ma'am?
Okay, well, one thing, Your Honor, I haven't seen my son. I haven't seen him since November. He's not ready when I go to pick him up. I call,
okay, that was not my question. You don't answer my question. You go off with your question instead of answering my question. Ma'am, you have to provide your address to the other side. When there's children involved, both parties need to know where the child is living.
Your Honor, I do not have a permanent address, okay? So I don't.
Okay.
And I do not.
So, I mean, are you living between different people's houses right now, ma'am?
No.
What are you doing?
No. I'm living with a non-family member. I have applied for the CHAP program. I don't know if you know anything about it, but it was filled out in October. They are now working on the ones from then.
Okay, but you're living with a non-family member, and why is that address not submitted to the court?
This is not my permanent address.
Okay, I understand that, but permanency is a matter of time, right? It depends. Like, if you're staying at a house for 2 days or a week, and not longer than that, then it's not permanent. Permanency could be is relative, right? So 1 month I consider permanent. You're there a month, that's like a whole month of your life. Then I need addresses to make sure you're getting your information. If it's going to another address, so that's the problem I have.
Yes,
right?
I have a mailing address.
So how long have you been staying there?
Let's see, since about the beginning of January.
Okay, then that's permanent enough for me. I need the address filed with the court if that's the latest one until you move.
Sure,
and
no
when you
problem.
move, I need a new one filed. Okay, so that takes care of that issue.
That is not a problem, Your Honor. Self-Help Center just opened this week.
Well, that's not quite true. Not opened in person, but it doesn't mean you can get online and get all kinds of information and do the forms. You don't even need to go in there to get anything.
No, I cannot, Your Honor. I do not have the resources to do that, and I cannot do that from my job.
Is there libraries not open at all? I don't know this answer, so I'm asking.
They're off and on, and quite frankly, I'm not comfortable going to a library.
Okay, but let me ask you this, Miss Balle. Let me ask you this other question. Have you registered? You're also required by administrative order. Everybody, including people that are self-represented, are required by court order to log in and put their email address on the service. On the e-service. Do you understand that? Have you done that? Mr. Rosé, do you know, is she on the e-service?
She's not on the e-service list, Your Honor, no. We do have an email address for her where we've been contacting her, trying to get an address for her, and she's not provided to us. In addition to that, she's been emailing us back from a proxy email, which is designed to delete after a short period of time of being read.
Oh, no,
No, that's not true. They were confidential. So you have to log in to read them.
Okay, ma'am, look, this is the issue. I need you to log into the e-service, and you need to register your email with it. It can't be one of these ones that delete things immediately. You're required by court order. Administrative orders have made that a requirement of all self-represented litigants, so you must do that immediately, okay? Then what will happen is everything that's served will be served there. Yes.
I don't have a problem with that. Your clerk actually sent me the form.
Okay.
So that I could fill it out and mail it in. I don't have the capabilities to do what you're asking me to do online.
Do you have a phone that has internet access, ma'am?
This phone can't handle it.
Well, you've done email addresses, emails to other people. You're going to have to borrow somebody else's computer somewhere. You're going to have to register. You're going to have to register your email with the e-service. That's different than filing your address change, ma'am. I need you to. You need to do
I can't do anything with the e-service. My capabilities, it will not handle it.
Ma'am, by court order, you have no choice, ma'am. That's an administrative order by our chief judge. You got to go in and file. You can go to another computer.
Well, if they would like to pay for a new phone, I would be more than happy to.
Well, ma'am, how is it possible that you have an email address and you can also access it from anybody else's ability to? You can go to other people. You can go to the library, whether you're comfortable or not. You're ordered to file with the e-service. Put your email address on there, and that'll be a requirement. You have 1 week to do that, Mr. Rosé. Ma'am, we're not going to argue, ma'am. We're not going to argue. I just need to make sure you get your e-service
Your Honor,
done.
I'm not. I'm telling you that I will do exactly what you tell me to do, and I believe I already did that. I'm like 3 times.
Mr. Rosé said you have not when he looked. Mr. Rosé, is it possible for you to double check? Or are you not at your computer?
I'm sitting on my computer right now, Your Honor, and let me check right now.
Okay, I just want to make sure it gets done, ma'am. I want to make sure you get all the documents that you need, okay?
I know, and I filled something out it was in the summertime. They said that we had to go into a certain system. I filled everything out. It was like a PACER system. So I did that.
PACER's federal. We have, but it's similar to that, but yes.
Okay, so, and then that obviously did not work.
Okay, Mr. Rosé, let me know when you find it, and if she's not on there, is it possible for you to add her, counsel?
I'm not sure, actually. Miss Martinez, my assistant, is actually sitting next to me. She's more familiar with this.
I understand, counsel. We don't normally, as attorneys, do that part.
She's literally logging in right now, and she's
Okay.
see if she can add it.
Okay, that's the other thing. So you said that's your other problem, ma'am. I'm still your turn. I want to hear your. You said you had some other issues, and I also need to hear from Mr. Rizea what his request is.
Well, first of all, Your Honor, when nobody was expecting a pandemic, first of all. Second of all, as of, when was it, May 20th, my job with the school district ends in the summer. I don't get paid from them in the summer. So I tried to get Uber. There is no business in Las Vegas.
That still doesn't answer my question.
So this is the problem. This is the problem. I haven't seen, here's another problem. I haven't seen my son. I call
Hey, ma'am, there's all things I could deal with at trial. I just need to know what is your position regarding. We have trial scheduled next week. I have 2 half days and a full day. That's what you're supposed to be addressing now. I'm not everything else. I need you to limit it to that. Tell me what your request is there. You say you had some issues, some hurdles. So I'm trying
Yes, I do, Your Honor. Okay, so listen, I am not had any training. I don't have a staff. I am not an attorney. Do the best I can. Now, I do not know how to do all of this stuff, so I have to learn as I'm doing it. So I had asked last time when Mr. Rizea was going out of town and needed to have an extension that I needed this to be separated up because I cannot prepare for 3 different trials.
Nope.
I'm not a lawyer.
Now, look, the judge, the court doesn't have the ability to like extend this forever and a day, Miss Balle. We've got to get these issues resolved. This part of this is on remand. Other issues are support, attend therapy, attorney's fees, all of this.
This is half of my problem because which one are we dealing with
all
first?
Of it. All of it.
I mean,
all of it.
Yeah, well, you can't really do that. Because
yes, we can. I do trials with multiple issues all the time, and we're going to move forward on
it, Miss Balle. I'm sure you do, Your Honor.
I have people that come before me representing themselves that have no skills either in litigation, and they do their best they can. A lot of them do really great, ma'am. Again, what is your request of the court today? I have it scheduled next week.
My request of the court is that, first of all, I need time to prepare this. I got to deal with this lawyer now. But
ma'am, you've had all the time when Mr. Rizea asked for the extension, as you just stated. You stated Mr. Rizea asked for extension, so that gave you more time, and now we're here ready to go, and you're not?
Okay, well, I mean, I did not go to law school. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Oh, you could?
I did not go to law school.
Okay, so you're requesting more time. Mr. Rizea, you said you had some hurdles as well. Let's talk about your hurdles, counsel.
Judge, I have some witness issues due to underlying medical reason.
Okay, so are you requesting it to be continued as well, counsel? Actually, she's going to be lucky if that's the case, right? Because so far she hasn't given me a basis not to move forward, but you have.
Okay, I'm going to be out of town like he was last time. That's all.
Ma'am, you knew about this date since then. You just can't make this stuff up. You're lying to the court now. So look, ma'am, stop. I just be quiet for a minute and listen, okay? Because I think you didn't listen to my point. Mr. Rizea is requesting a continuance as well. You're getting what you want, but you need to listen, ma'am, okay? So, Mr. Rizea, you needed a continuance as well based on witnesses, counsel?
Judge, I can move forward, but I will not oppose her request. I don't want another appeal issue. If she needs additional time to retain counsel and move forward, I am not opposed to it. And like I said, I do have some witness issues as well.
Okay. So do you understand, ma'am? I was just trying to stop you because he actually was saying he wasn't denying your request. He wasn't opposing your request, ma'am. So you just need to let me get to that point, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. But there are still issues. I've not seen my son since November.
Okay, well let's do one thing at a time. Let's set new trial dates. The problem is you needed 2 full days, counsel, 2 half days, and we did a half days and a full day last time. I believe that's still going to be the need of time. Is that right, counsel? Because I looked at the witness list and all of that. It's quite extensive, right?
It is, Your Honor. That sounds sufficient.
Okay.
Hold
on, ma'am. Let me finish this issue first. Let's finish this issue and then we'll deal with the rest. Do we have? What was that? What we've got, whatever we've got is the problem. August. Hold on one second. I was on the wrong month. Hold on, counsel. We're trying to find you a date, and ma'am, we're trying to find you a date. Hold on. You said. Okay. We can do the 24th. We can do full day, right? I see the half day. I'm thinking maybe we have the 27th, we have a full day available. Okay, council, I can do the 25th a half day of August, the 26th a half day of August, and all day on the 27th. Will that work?
We'll make it work, Judge.
Ma'am, will that work for you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll have the 25th at 1:30, the 26th at 1:30, all day on the 27th. You will need to. I will have a calendar call on the 19th of August at 11 o'clock to make sure we're ready to move forward. I'm not gonna allow another continuance from anybody at this point. We've had 2 continuances, one on each side, which is fair. But at the same time, this has got to get resolved. These parties need to move on. Regarding your other issues, ma'am, you're saying that you have not seen your child. But my problem that I'm having is, Mr. Rizet, what's the status of the visitation with her and the child?
Judge, the last time she actually made any effort to see the minor child was in October of 2020. That's the last time that there was any contact. Since then, there hasn't been. There are some issues, Judge. Given the fact that this matter is on calendar now for trial in August, I will be filing a motion for an OST to resolve the issue that she's addressing. We have some grave concerns regarding her residency, some allegations of drug use. She's essentially abandoned all communication. There's been some limited communication with the adult children, but it's sporadic at best.
Okay, so ma'am, this tells me what we need to do. Ma'am, let me explain to you the process.
I want to respond.
You can, but wait, let me explain the process, and then I'll let you respond, okay, ma'am? So this is the process. Because you've even told me that you don't have a permanent residence right now. Part of what he said is 100% true by your own statements. I need you to file a motion, ma'am. I need you to file a motion with the court, and that's what I need. And Mr. Rizet said he would file one as well to address it. Somebody needs to file a motion to address this issue. All of it would have been dealt with next week, but based upon both parties, but mostly your representation, ma'am, that you're not ready to move forward, and the attorney request that you're saying that you're trying to fix that situation, which I hope you can get that fixed, ma'am. I need you to file a motion so I can address that, okay?
Okay, this is why I didn't, because we were coming, but this isn't the first time, and I told you last time, Your Honor, throughout the whole pandemic, he kept my child and did not answer me. I did not see my child. Okay, but they're saying that you're doing very limited contact, and you're saying that you can't access email easily. That's one thing you said, number one. No. I have text messages back and forth. I texted my son. Okay, well, file a motion and I'll address it, man. File a motion and I'll address it. Please, file a motion. Can I please finish? He has gotten way more time to talk, and everything that comes out of his mouth is manipulative and twisted, because what he said is not true. I have tried to get in touch with my son. I've been out in front of the house telling him to come outside. Okay, ma'am, you're going to show me proof of that in a motion. I will address it when you file a motion, ma'am. File a motion. And if you request, listen, ma'am, I'm going to tell you 2 steps I need you to do, okay? To make it happen as soon as possible, you file a motion and you file an order shortening time. I will grant you your order shortening time, ma'am. And if you did it today or tomorrow, I would even grant it for part of the time that I have available now, because this trial's come off. But you need to file it right away. I don't know if you have the ability to do that. If you do, I will address it. I will grant the order shortening time. So I'm saying do this 2 things, ma'am. File a motion and request an order shortening time. Those 2 separate things you need to do, okay? Yes, no problem. I will do it. Okay. And I wasn't finished. Mr. Rizet has talked a lot. No, you have talked a lot. You and I have had the most conversation about your whole situation of your living arrangements and the attorney issues. Mr. Rizet has hardly talked at all, ma'am. This court doesn't need to hear any more than necessary. I've continued the trial based upon your request today, ma'am. I have also advised you that you need to file the motion so I can address your other issues. I do need you, Mr. Rizet, you didn't give me the answer yet. Your assistant was checking. I'm trying to resolve the issue of electronic service for you. Has your assistant been able to log in, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm on the e-serve list right now. I'm ready to add her, and I just want to confirm on the record the email that I've communicated to her with is cballe420@gmail.com.
Ma'am, is that the right email address?
No, it is not.
Okay, tell me the email address. He's actually doing, I've asked him for a favor of the court to actually do your electronic file, putting it in there. So you don't have to do that step, ma'am. So everything that's served will be done through electronic service. It'll come to your email. So tell me what email address you want on there.
It is S as in Sam, I as in ice cream, N as in Nancy, N as in Nancy, Y as in yellow, L as in Larry, O as in ostrich, U as in umbrella, W, H as in Henry, O as in ostrich, @gmail.com.
Okay, I'm going to repeat it to you to make sure I got it right, okay? S is in Sam, I is in ink, N is in Nancy, N is in Nancy, Y is in yellow, L is in like, O is in orange, U is in umbrella, W is in what? H is in happy, O is in orange, @gmail.com. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr.
All right.
Rosé, the court has given you authority to put her email in there for the electronic service as a favor to the court. Normally we don't allow people to do that, but by my request, I'm asking you to do so. That'll solve that problem. I will see everybody
Thank you.
back here either on a motion or I will see you here for the calendar call on the 19th of August at 11 o'clock. Trial is scheduled the 25th, 26th, and 27th, 1:30 on the 25th and 26th, and at 9 a.m. on the 27th. Anything else, ma'am?
Yes. The district attorney's office, I asked them to modify because when I was making $500 a month, $350 was going to the defendant, and it didn't leave me anything to live on.
File that with your motion, ma'am. You can address all of those things in your motion. Anything you need to address, you can address in your motion, whether it's child support arrears, then I can handle it instead of waiting for the DA and the child support court, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you for your parents. Yes, ma'am?
I was just, I have to bring this up. My son had some issues during the pandemic. He said he wasn't feeling good, so we are trained to, refer them to some kind of counseling or whatever. Dr. Ponzo, I've talked to him on the phone.
Ma'am, this is another issue you can include in your motion. I'm not going to hear all this information until you file a proper motion. I need a motion before me so that it can be addressed. The other thing is, counsel, I did not ask this. Are we requesting that discovery be continued, counsel, or are we closing discovery? I don't usually open discovery again.
Would you please?
I have no opposition to discovery being opened up again, Judge. As whatever she needs to have this matter heard on the merits once and for all.
Okay, all right, then I will have, hold on a second.
And who do I contact for that? Because I've tried everywhere. Nobody knows.
Hold on a minute. The 19th is the Thursday before, isn't it? 2 weeks before. It's the 25th, 26th, or 19th is correct. I'm clarifying with my court to make sure we have the dates. Counsel, I will issue a new trial setting order with new dates because you've said to open up discovery. Ma'am, I'm granting your request on that, especially because Mr. Rosé is not objecting to it. This court normally does not do that, ma'am, because normally I don't let the target for trial on all information keeps moving when you keep continuing, and I don't normally allow it. But based upon the representations today, I am going to do that. I'm going to issue a new trial setting order for everyone that'll have the discovery date. Okay, ma'am?
Yes, but where do all of my evidence is the court record. Where's all the stuff over the last 7 years?
Ma'am, if you're getting an attorney, you can have them do that. I can't tell you how to practice law, ma'am. I've given you a little bit of guidance on filing a motion, and that's it.
Thank you very much.
Look at that. I'll issue a trial setting order for the new dates, and you guys will come back before me, and that should resolve at least everything that I have before me today. Thank you for your appearances.
Thank you
very much, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. We're on D354, Cynthia Balle versus Peter Mario Balle. Counsel, your appearance for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Preston Rosé for Mr. Peter Mario Balle, who's present.
Okay, Miss Balle, you're present. Can you state your name for the record, please? Miss Balle, your appearance, please. State your name, please. I show her present, counsel. At least it says it's her.
Likewise, Judge, and it shows that her microphone is actually working, so I don't understand why we're...
Miss Balle, this is Judge Forsberg. Can you hear me? Miss Balle, your appearance, please.
Your Honor, maybe she got kicked off. I'll try to call her.
Okay, Mr. Rosé, you know the system kicks you off every so many minutes, so maybe she got kicked off, and it's just, but it's still showing her there. Oh, we got a message from her. It looks like. Hold on the chat. Says she's on, but she's okay. Miss Balle, can you state your name for the record, or we're not able to hear you? I see that you're messaging.
Can can she log off and log back in, Your Honor?
Okay, Miss Balle, log back off and log back on, okay? Because sometimes for some reason, we're not hearing you. Give her a minute to log off and log back on. It's apparently she's having trouble, so.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Yes, thank you. Perfect. State your name for the record, please.
Cynthia Balle.
Okay, Miss Balle, this is on today for Dad's emergency motion to suspend your contact with the minor children for supervised visitation, and they've also requested a drug test today. Mr. Rosé, it's your client's motion. Mom has not filed an opposition. Miss Balle, you've had a lot of sufficient time, more than the 14 days, to file the opposition, but you haven't done so, ma'am. Why not?
I did file my change of address or whatever they needed for that, but I just simply do not have those resources to get down there and to do that. I hired an attorney, as I stated. I really did hire an attorney. I now have to take her to court because she took literally every dollar I have and didn't show up before. And I got his notification that they had filed this the day that I went down there in order to change my address as you instructed me to do. They were closing, so they would not let me stay and file anything down there at all.
So you found out about the motion on the 31st when you went to go file your change of address. Is that right?
Correct. Yes, I did. And I've been to the law library since then trying to figure out exactly how to respond to this.
Okay. Well, this is the situation. It's their motion. I'm going to hear from Mr. Rosé first, okay? I just wanted to know why you hadn't filed it. You've enlightened where you are and that you did know that it was in existence, and you filed your change of address the day after the motion was filed, so you've had a sufficient amount of time to figure it out, ma'am. But I'm going to hear from Mr. Rosé first. Mr. Rosé, it is your client's motion. You're asking for, it looks like she hasn't had visitation or exercise visitation since October, at least when you filed this motion. And I don't know what's happened since then. And it appears that she hasn't done the individual therapy. That's the other issue in the request for a drug test. Is that right, Mr. Rosé? Is there anything to this?
That's correct, Judge. That's the relief side. As far as her failure to file a responsive pleading, Judge, I would submit to you she's been an improper person for quite some time and has done well to bring motions before this court. So I don't see why she would have any difficulty in filing an opposition to a motion. These issues have been brought before the court and addressed ad nauseum. But essentially, that's correct, Judge. It's on our motion for an emergency motion to suspend plaintiff's contact with a minor child for supervised visitation, if any, and for drug testing at the court's discretion. Our motion seeks this relief based on a number of reasons. Number one, she's failed to seek the individual therapy as ordered by this court. Number two, she had refused to provide a address to my client for an extended period of time, since October of 2020. And coincidentally, Judge, the day after we filed this motion, she provides an address. Number three, we have information that leads to the distinct impression that she's engaged in the use of illegal drugs, including meth. So I'll address each one of those in that order, Judge.
Okay.
Addressing the first issue, again, as the court is aware, she's been ordered to attend individual psychological therapy on a number of occasions. The first time was March 15th, 2017, on defendant's motion to modify, where she was, based on specific findings by Dr. Ponzo, she was ordered to attend therapy. She refused to do so. This matter was again before the court on October 10th, 2019, and she was again ordered to attend individual therapy, and she refused to do so. Not only did she refuse to do so, Judge, she unilaterally took the minor child in violation of the joint's legal provisions of the multiple orders that have been in place, and she enrolled the child in individual therapy, insisting that that's what the court's order was. I sent her multiple correspondences asking that she comply with the court's order. She's either non-responsive, or when she does, there's ramblings about other issues that are not relevant, and she essentially is refusing to acknowledge this court's order. Those correspondences are attached to the This matter was again before the court on May 14th, 2020, on our motion, on defendant's motion for order to show cause, and she was again ordered by the courts to attend therapy. We have again multiple correspondences. And we even provided her with the names of 3 therapists as requested by this court, and she continued to refuse therapy. Addressing the second issue, Judge, on October 9th, 2020, my client went to pick up the minor child after plaintiff's scheduled visitation for that weekend, and when he arrived at the plaintiff's residence, that's when he discovered that she no longer resides there. And we made multiple attempts for her to provide us with an answer, Judge, and she simply refused to do it. There are correspondences on Talking Parents, there are correspondences from my office, and she just simply refused to provide us with an address. And from what we understand, she's moved several times, but for at least some time now, we don't know how long exactly, she has resided consistently with her boyfriend. The last time we were before the court on March 18th, 2021, she was ordered to provide a place of residence within 7 days. She failed to do it. Coincidentally, Judge, again, just 1 day after we filed our motion, she files a notice of change of address, which we took a look at it, Judge. It's either intentionally illegible or maybe not, but regardless, what we can make of it, it is not even a valid address. So we still have reason to believe, based on the impression that the adult children have drawn from conversations they've had with her boyfriend's son, is that she still resides with her boyfriend, which is what brings us to the most troubling issue that's been brought to the court's attention, is that again, the children have had discussions, the adult children have had discussions with the boyfriend's son, which leads them to the distinct impression that they are using illegal drugs together, including meth. And this should be of no surprise, Judge. The children provided affidavits in this case before the court today. They previously provided affidavits that mom has used prescription drugs. They've even witnessed her do cocaine in front of them. So if you look at the totality of circumstances, Judge, her utter complete lack of disregard for this court's order for individual therapy, her unstable residence, her refusal to provide us with information, and the fact that she's actually, the last time she made any attempt to see the minor child judge was October 26, 2020. If you look if you look at the totality of circumstances, certainly the conclusion or the distinct impression drawn by the adult children and my client is certainly substantiated. And based on that, we would ask that her custodial time be immediately suspended. If the court's inclined to order any visitation, I would ask it would be supervised, but I would submit to you, we would ask that she at least start attending therapy and go to drug tests before there's even supervised visitation. And I'll submit on that, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Balle, you did not file an opposition, so the court has to take it as the fact that their motion has merit, and I'm going to grant their request, but I'm going to hear from you anyways because you've had sufficient amount of time and you have filed things in proper person many times before. You understand how the self-help system works and how the forms and oppositions work, Ms. Balle, because I see that you filed things, including this change of address. First, let's start with that. I actually had to enlarge this change of address greatly, and I want to make sure and clarify your address on the record, ma'am, because it looks, I agree with Mr. Rizze, it appears to be intentionally vague. It looks like it's a 6, but it's put with the 8. I'm not sure if it's an 8. Maybe it's a 3. What is your address, ma'am?
6874 Churchfield should be on there.
Okay, it's just hard. It looks like it's just the way that you wrote it made it really hard to read. So the court's clarifying that it's 6874. So that takes care of that portion, ma'am. The issue about why have you not started your therapy, ma'am? This has been ordered several times, including I've ordered you to do that as well.
Okay, Your Honor, I have a therapist. I have a case manager. I have everything you have requested.
Okay. But
Mr. Rizé.
We provided it with Mr. Rizé. Certainly we wouldn't have this motion here today.
Okay, Your Honor, I would like to address his allegations.
Okay.
They are completely false, based on hearsay, and as a matter of fact, it is Mr. Balle who broke the order for therapy by not allowing the children to attend therapy. The original order from Judge Potter, I asked for therapy for the kids. The father, Pete, he came into court, told Judge Potter he couldn't make an appointment. That went on, so we had continuance, it was something like 90 days later.
I went over the order of Judge Potter because I figured this would be part of it.
Yeah.
It did go through the
So
order.
I did take them.
There was a lot of issues about it, and he said specifically that you had to do individual therapy. Then I ordered again.
Right. I'm
Let's
not arguing that.
I'm not going back to this stuff other than why don't I have an opposition or proof of the therapy?
Okay. So I will get back to that. Okay. As a matter of fact, last time we were in front of you, I have had a therapist. I have been to Safe Nest when we were married, after we got divorced. I told you that I did attend therapy with Father at the church. You said that wasn't good enough. After that, I went, and wherever my insurance would take, I went to HBI, Human Behavior Institute. I asked for a therapist. They make you have a case manager. They did a psychological evaluation on me there. I still have a therapist there.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I also...
Did you present that? Did you file that with Mr. Rizé, or did you present it to Mr. Rizé, or did you file it with the court, ma'am? I don't have an opposition, so I don't have it filed, right?
Okay, Your Honor, first of all, anything you file in court is a public record. Since it is medical, I asked the therapist and the case manager. They said Mr. Rizé has no authority to have that, but you do, and you can get it any time.
Ma'am, you seem to miss the point. You could submit it to the court, and it could be viewed in what's called in camera. That would
Okay, that is what I just found out very recently. I have requested not only my records, but I'm going to address this as well. The children were ordered to attend therapy by Judge Potter.
I want you to stick on one topic first. I'm not going to let you go here, there, and everywhere. I want you to focus on this.
Okay.
Again, are you going to... What is your plan with filing all your records as to your therapy? See, if you filed that, Mr. Rizé would not be filing a motion with my court. But you haven't presented that to him, and he is entitled to it because the court is making that part of the order. But he is to know that's part of the order, ma'am. You were to provide...
I did tell him I have a therapist. So he is misleading you. I emailed him, I do have a therapist. I emailed him that, and I also emailed what my therapist verbatim told me to put in that email. That, yes, I do have a therapist, but what goes on in my therapy, he is not entitled to know, but the judge is, and there are procedures for that, and that can be submitted to the court. So he is misleading you. Well, I'm going to outright say this is not the first time.
Listen to this, ma'am. Listen to me on this. You were ordered to provide proof of your records of your therapy with the court in camera, and I will review it. And Mr. Rizé,
okay.
Copy, but it will be confidential, counsel. You're not to release it to Mr. Balle. You're not to release it to anybody. The court, you are allowed to review it based upon the court's order today. That's what's going to happen regarding that issue. Ma'am, regarding the other issue, you haven't seen your children since October 26th. Is that correct?
Okay, let me address that. I had my son over that weekend for his birthday, so he was with me. Then he goes back. He's supposed to come back for Thanksgiving. There was an incident with him, and the way he was acting, his outbursts. I called my case.
I'm just making sure. Are we talking about with your son, ma'am?
Yes, with Christian. On my scheduled visitation.
Not of the son, right? I just wasn't clear. So.
Yes, Christian. And so I called my case manager. I said, I'm really worried. I don't know what's going on with him. I think he may be using drugs. I think he's depressed. He has said some things, and these outbursts are out of line. I was on the phone with somebody when this was going on. They're a witness to it. So they told me to make an appointment for him. And if he looks like he's going to hurt himself, to call emergency, and they'll come and get him. So I made an appointment for him for therapy to talk about what's going on.
Did you talk to Dad about it? You guys have temporary joint, at the time you had temporary joint legal custody before. So did you bother to talk to Dad about this, Mom?
No, we didn't have that, because he's been taking him to Ponzo. I actually called Dr. Ponzo and talked to him as well. He told me he's not doing family therapy, which is what the court order is, and he doesn't do that. He only sees Christian sometimes when there is a problem, and so Pete brings him in.
So it's an as-needed kind of basis. Is that
right? But that's not what the order from Potter said. They are to continue in family therapy.
Okay, people don't have to continue therapy forever, ma'am. It's you got to follow the therapist guidelines, right?
But we didn't ever go. Okay. We never went.
All right, but that is the point. Is you didn't. I need proof that you went. Number one. Number two.
Okay, so, I will give that to you, Your Honor.
Back to the point. Go back to the point, Miss Balle.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so it was a telehealth. It was a telehealth.
Okay, hold on a minute. Hold on. Let me tell you where I'm at on where you're at in your story, okay? What I'm wanting to know is, so you had trouble with Christian, you believed he was on drugs, and you haven't seen him since then. Is that correct?
No, I had him that whole weekend.
Since that weekend, ma'am, have you seen him?
Okay.
Is that a no?
I have seen him, but I haven't had my visitation with him.
Okay, when you say seen him, define seen him?
He was at a friend of his house. I'm friends with the mom. I've seen him.
Okay.
But I've been out in front of Pete's house trying to pick him up for my visitation. I've had contact. Every single time it's my time to get him, nobody responds to me. This is manipulation by the defendant.
I wish you had filed an opposition like you're supposed to. Then I would.
I did. I tried last time when I didn't see him for 30 days in the July, and you changed custody and gave it to my ex-husband. I tried, and I've tried to get reinforcement.
Proof that you've even attended the therapy that has been ordered. So look, this is
okay. So, Your Honor, if I may, please, I have.
You haven't seen him in your visitation. I'm just trying to clarify.
Well, no. I would like to finish what I was going to tell you. I've been denied visitation. I haven't not had it, and the reason for it, and I have requested these records from HBI. There was a doctor on the phone, Christian on the phone. His dad picks up the phone, and his dad said, he's not going or seeing you. He's not going anywhere with you. Click. And I have not seen him since.
Okay, I understand. I understand your side of it. I understand your side of it now, ma'am. But like I said, you still had to file the opposition. You didn't. So that's a problem for me. As to the
Your Honor, I would really like to let you know that resources are very hard. And I get it. Yes, I have been a pro se. But during the pandemic, those resources were not available to me. Mr. Rizes.
That is not true. Because I got to tell you that people file things online in my court from day one of the pandemic until today. I have pro se litigants that file stuff every single day on their own. So that's not true.
Your Honor, like today, for instance, I literally was on hold for a half hour with self-help. And then it says there's a problem with the call, hangs up, call back later. Okay. This is what goes on. And I'm not going to make excuses, but when you're being evicted and your landlord is shutting off your internet access and everything else, there's not much you could do.
You've moved since then, is that right? You moved the day after that motion was filed. You filed a move that you moved, is that right?
It's the same person I've been staying with since I was evicted.
Ma'am, I guess I'm not understanding. You say you were evicted, and now you're still living with your boyfriend, and you guys are living on Churchfield. 6874 Church.
No. That is not my boyfriend's address. You're taking his story and his narrative as fact.
Okay,
this is what started.
Whoa, listen to me. I don't care who you're living with. I care the fact that you say you were evicted and that you didn't have internet service. But since the date you filed this change of address, you have that at your new house. Is that right?
I do not have a new house. I'm staying. This is not my home. This is not my permanent address.
Who are you living with?
Lisa Chanik, who has been a friend of mine for 16 years.
Okay, but Miss Chanik is not throwing you out. Miss Chanik has internet capability, right?
Okay, Miss Chanik was letting me stay.
Okay, I understand. I asked you 2 questions and you're avoiding my questions. Please answer my questions.
Yes, she has internet, and no, she would not. Yes.
Thank you. All right. So then there's no excuse for an opposition not filed, ma'am. Again, my concern is Mr. Rizay's made an allegation that you are possibly
Right.
using drugs, and I'm going to order you to have a drug test done today. Are we clear on that?
Okay, this is what I would like to say. First of all, because I'm still not getting a chance to reply to the things that he is saying.
Was to have filed an opposition, ma'am. That's what you were supposed to do.
Your Honor, I listen, literally, I'm working 2 jobs trying to just make it. The court has been taking more than they should be taking away from me, even during the pandemic when I was making $500 a month.
Okay,
the district attorney's office will not change it.
This is not the time for that. This is the time for us to resolve the 2 issues I'm concerned about. Number 1.
All right, so Your Honor, I would like to ask this. Since when does the court rely on hearsay? This is all hearsay.
Proof.
And it started from the beginning.
Miss Balle.
He has misled you, Your Honor.
Wait for you to prove that it's not true is you're going to go take the drug test. Mr. Balle is going to be ordered to pay for it, ma'am. And if you come back positive, then you have to reimburse him. But if you don't, if you come back negative, you certainly don't have to reimburse him, and you will have made your point. I'm giving you a chance.
Okay, I would like to know why this hearsay is being allowed to continue. I could say
it's an offer of proof, ma'am. They're making an allegation that you are using drugs, and the fact that your behavior starts being questioned when you haven't had your visitation. You're saying it's because you tried to get it and they didn't let you. So I'm going to see what the real reason is, ma'am. I am the trier of the fact of that.
Your Honor, my son.
Drug test, and you're going to take that drug test today, ma'am. Number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, before you're going to have any more, the visitation is going to be supervised and suspended until I have proof. Till you file the proof that you're going to therapy, ma'am, and that you're doing what you've been ordered to do at least twice. Okay?
Okay, so the new regulations for Human Behavior Institute are as follows. They won't just send them, so
Look, I need
if you want them, I need to know how you would like me to get them to you and the proper way to do it.
Okay.
I have to sign a release, request the documents, and then file them, I'm understanding, under camera, which I've never done that before, so I didn't even know that existed.
Okay. So how you will do that, ma'am, is because of COVID, I'm going to allow it to be a simpler way for you, in fact. You can submit them to my judicial executive assistant and say that these need to be filed in camera so that they're not public, that they're confidential, okay? So you're going to be able to email them to her directly. Her name is Lorena Martinez, okay? I'm just trying to make it for you.
Yeah, that's fine. Your Honor, though, I would like to respond to this because I filed a motion because the orders weren't being followed 2 years ago. I have filed these motions over and over.
We're not hear you on a motion today on that, are we? We are right now. You've been before me many days since then. So
right, but my motions have never been heard. So I'm telling you right now that
I have an evidentiary hearing scheduled for you guys the 26th, the 27th, and the 28th of August as it is. So I'll certainly hear everything you want to say and your chance to present all your evidence, ma'am, then. But the bottom line is I have a motion that is before me right now that I'm trying to address, and you want to go down this path of everything in the past. And
No, I do not, Your Honor. I do not. What I'm saying is the things that have...
You broke up. You muted your microphone, ma'am. Unmute it. You hit your phone and it muted it. Okay, there you are. There you are.
Have directly resulted in the defendant being able to do these kind of things and there be no consequences.
Well, ma'am, you had a remedy. Even to this motion, you had a remedy, ma'am, and you chose not to file the opposition. You say you have a lot of reasons and a lot of excuses, but this is the bottom line regarding it. You're going to need to file. I'm going to require you to file.
I just found out the 22nd of this month that there was even a hearing. He did not send me a copy of the motion or anything.
Again, you were advised, you just stated to the court yourself that when you went down there and you filed a change of address that they advised you of the motion. So you've already said that that's the case. So you knew about it. So look, this is the issue, Mom. This is what I need you to do. Let's be clear on what I need you to do so we're no confusion, okay? You're going to need
I'm not confused on what you need me to do, Your Honor. I'm confused as to why hearsay and manipulation and misleading the court has kept being allowed to happen. He told you I was ordered to a PhD. That was never ordered. The children were.
Okay,
his side broke the order.
I've asked you to provide proof. We've gone down that road like twice already. I've already had
the court record is the proof.
Provide proof. Look, now I've explained to you a way to provide proof, so I've given you the advice on how to provide proof, ma'am. But in the meantime, because you haven't seen your son, at least not had your visitation, you say you saw him through a friend a couple of times, perhaps, I don't know how many, when he was visiting his friend, that you were visiting the same friend, same town.
But I would like to say this. There is documentation that I'm trying to contact my son. There's documentation that he's preventing me from.
The best thing that would have happened is had you filed an opposition, I would have seen that proof, right, ma'am?
And Your Honor, the reason that this campaign against me is going on is because it's the defendant who needs supervision. His girlfriend gave opiate painkillers to a child.
If you didn't bother to file an opposition, you could have been...
I did file it in my motion, and it's never been heard. This is going on 7 years of things that have happened that have not been heard.
Right, Miss Balle, I'm making an order. I need you to hear me. You need to hear me. Go take a drug test. I am
Fine.
pending your visitation, pending you filing all the proof of the therapy.
Suspended. I haven't even had it.
Again, ma'am, I'm sending you to a drug test today. I am also suspending your visitation, pending your filing proof that you're going to the therapy as previously ordered. I've explained to you, I told you the simplest way possible. I'm even making my judicial executive assistant have to assist you as to how to follow it to make sure it gets done in confidence, ma'am. Okay, so in Canada.
That's more than okay.
Okay, so we're two. You're going to go take the drug test, and then I'm going to set a status check return.
And Your Honor, I would like to know what the ramifications are going to be when you do finally realize that Mr. Rizé has been misleading the court. These are all hearsay accusations, and your orders for visitation are based on hearsay.
Well, ma'am,
Mr. Ponzo's report is inadmissible.
Well,
Mr. Ponzo's Potter said it was inadmissible. He said it before you were around.
Miss Balle,
I would like to know what ramifications there will be.
we will talk about that come the evidentiary hearing, right? It'll determine on what I find. It depends on what the evidence presents.
Well, my ex-husband has been investigated by CPS for sexually assaulting a 12-year-old. Why is nothing being done? And I brought this up.
In evidentiary hearing. You can bring it up in your evidentiary hearing, but ma'am, I am here.
I did.
Again,
We've never had one because it's been continued for 7 years. Literally, over and over.
Last time. And guess who requested it continued last time? You did. And I granted it based on your request. Remember? Because you talked about the attorney, right?
I did.
Right. So,
And Your Honor, I am not an attorney. I do not have the money for document preparation. So in between jobs, I literally have to find the law, the proper way to address the law in my pleadings. And it's not easy.
I understand that. I understand that's the case. But let me tell you, in addition to that, Self-Help also has a trial preparation class that you're welcome to attend.
I took it.
Okay.
I took it.
Should certainly
3 years ago.
Okay. Well, maybe you need to take a refresher course. Maybe that will help, okay? But as for this, I've told you what you're going to file. I am suspending your visitation, pending your filing any proof of your attending your therapy and a return to the drug test. We're going to come back for those things. I'm going to give you a chance to file that, okay? And then we're going to see what your drug test says, and we're going to go from there. Mr. Rizé, we're going to send to return the drug test, Madam Clerk.
May 25th at 11 o'clock.
What date? I'm sorry.
May
Repeat
25th
it.
at 11 o'clock.
May 25th at 11 o'clock. Miss Balle, that's going to give you the time to file the documents that you need to do. You're going to go take a drug test. I'm going to sign it right now, and we're going to send it to you, email it to you. What's your email address that you want it sent to you, ma'am?
It's on record.
Let me make sure it's
SINNYLOUWHO@gmail.com.
Is that what you have, Madam Clerk? I'm just making sure that you get it, ma'am. Okay, I'm signing it right now. Until we come back, visitation is going to be suspended. In the meantime, you've got to get that filed, okay, ma'am?
All right, Your Honor, for the record, I would like to state this also so that when we do come back, you know this. I did not get, he kept him all during the pandemic, so I didn't get to see him then. Told you about that. You didn't do anything last time. I didn't see him for any of my holidays. Christmas, Easter. Now Mother's Day, I have to miss Mother's Day with him too. And I've seen my other children.
Had you filed the opposition, ma'am, I would have had all this evidence already. That's my problem.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, but, during a pandemic and especially after, I'm financially strapped because this court's refusal to enforce their orders since 2014. I am strapped.
Well, part of the enforcing the orders is that you were supposed to attend this therapy, right? So now you're going to certainly do that.
And
we're going to go through all that, ma'am, but right now that's what I have before me. So I'm going to see you back here in May, and I'm signing the referral right now. I'm sending it back to my court clerk, and she will email it on to you.
Okay. And then also, Your Honor, for the permanent address, you have a case in front of you, and they just changed the date. So I'm waiting for the marital residence of my boyfriend to be exclusively given to him by you, but you changed the date. So that would be my permanent
case. I can't address another case. Now, if I can't address another case in this hearing, you understand that? Right? They're not before me today. I can't address their case in your case. You understand?
Could we get some clarification
right.
when she needs to take that drug test?
She has to go by the end of today, and then we're going to have to go right over by 5 o'clock today. You've got 3 hours to get there.
Okay, so that means I have to call into my other job.
You have to do whatever you're going to do, ma'am. You have to go get the drug test. You know it doesn't take very long. You just got to go in and get it done. My clerk, Madam Clerk, have you received it back from me? Or you emailed it to her as we
Yes,
speak?
I'm emailing it right now, Your Honor.
Okay, she's emailing it to you right now, Miss Balle, so you can go right over and do that.
Okay, and where is this exactly, and what is the fee? Because I don't have money.
First of all, I did already state that Mr. Balle's ordered to pay for it, ma'am. You don't have to pay anything. You've got to go in and take it. Mr. Rizé, your client has to go and make the deposit immediately in order for that to happen.
We'll do that right away. Can we also get the CC'd on the instructions, Judge?
You back, Madam Clerk, can you send Mr. Rizé forward it to him after you've sent it to Miss Balle? I want her to get it right away, Mr. Rizé, and we'll forward it back to you. I just want to make sure she gets it right away.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to see you back here on May 25th at 11 o'clock. And ma'am, I just, like I said, in the meantime, you're ordered to file the proof of your therapy with the court under camera, but you can just contact my JEA and she'll assist you to do that, okay?
Okay, and then also, there's pending motions that are going into civil court against this court. So how does that affect this case?
Well, I can't address it, how it affects this, until I see what's filed, ma'am. You're asking me to weigh in on something I
Negligence.
Okay.
And I have also turned in a request for your recusal based on bias.
I don't see any of that presented here, ma'am. I don't see anything submitted to my court.
I'm informing the court that will be filed. And Mr. Rizé has a complaint against him with the bar at this time because he is an authorized agent of a business that the defendant said he closed but put it in my son's name.
Ma'am, that isn't for me to address. Ma'am, you're missing my point.
Oh, yeah, it is, because this is all just ridiculous.
When you finally file something, because you couldn't file the opposition, ma'am, right?
It's all been filed since 2014 forward. The court has failed to act.
Again, ma'am, I said I don't have anything before regarding that. I've ordered you to take the drug test. I'll see everybody back here on May 25th, and I'll address it.
Okay, and I am, Mr. Rizé, going to request that the defendant's girlfriend have a drug test because she gives painkillers to minors.
Again, ma'am, if you filed all this in opposition, I would have certainly addressed it. But I can't because you didn't.
No.
So, ma'am, you're going to go take the drug test and we'll see what it is.
We wouldn't be in this position.
Ma'am, you're welcome to file whatever else you'd like with the court, but I don't
Okay, go.
for me. So please go to the drug test immediately. I will see everybody back here on May 25th. You now understand how to contact my JEA, right, ma'am?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your appearances, Mr. Rizé. I'll see you back here on May 25th at 11 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Good day.
Good morning. We're on the record in case D392854, Cynthia Balle versus Peter Mario Balle. Counsel, your appearance for the record, please. Okay. Good morning. We're on the record in case D392854, Cynthia Balle versus Peter Mario Balle. Counsel, your appearance for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Preston Brzee for Mr. Balle, who's actually present.
Okay, Mr. Brzee, we are actually calling Miss Balle.
This is Miss Balle.
Okay, Miss Balle, this is Judge Forsberg. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Judge.
Okay, perfect. This is the time set on the return. You were supposed to go for a drug test, and I was supposed to see some records, and I don't see that. Mr. Brzee, has there been a resolution in this matter?
There has not, Your Honor, and we've been informed by the facility that she actually did not present herself for drug testing.
Yeah, that's what I was informed too. Miss Balle, why did you not go for the drug test that I ordered, ma'am?
I would have to have a lawyer speak to that.
You've chosen to represent yourself today, ma'am. Do you have a lawyer that you've
No, I
already
did
retained?
not. I did not choose to represent myself. I'm being forced to represent myself because of finances and the court's inability to enforce their orders over 7 years. I'm not choosing
Well,
to
I'm trying to
represent
enforce
myself.
my order from a couple weeks ago, and you were ordered to go take a drug test. Why have you not done that, ma'am?
I would have to have a lawyer speak to that.
Okay, you do not have to have if you've chosen, you either have two choices. Either I see your attorney on the screen, Miss Balle, or you represent yourself today. Which is it?
I don't have anybody on the screen with me, Judge.
Okay, then I need to know why you
But
didn't
I
go for
don't
your drug
know.
test. I'm asking you for a question, ma'am, a direct question. Why did you not go for your drug test?
It seems as if every time Mr. Rosé asks for something based on hearsay, it's granted. And in this country, we don't work on hearsay. He has no evidence of anything.
But, Mom, your
He's
opportunity to
mudslinging.
prove that you weren't using drugs was to go take the drug test.
Oh, it's innocent until proven guilty, not that I have to prove myself innocent.
Well, I have to err on the side of caution for a child, ma'am. For, when it comes to child custody issues, I have to err on the side of caution.
And I understand that,
Okay.
but this is why I'm saying I don't completely understand my rights. I just found out that it probably is violating my rights,
It's
everything
not.
that has been going on. So,
Well,
that
it's
being
not, ma'am.
said,
This
at
is the issue.
point,
This is the thing. Since you
it
did
could be
not go,
detrimental to me.
ma'am, since you chose not to go take your drug test as ordered by this court, the court is going to find that you were positive for using drugs. The other
No, I
issue
was
was,
not.
ma'am, you were ordered to submit your...
We do not get to just go by hearsay. There's been no evidentiary hearing on it.
Ma'am, I
and
gave
he
you a
has
chance
provided
by
no
order of
proof.
this court to go take a drug test,
Whoa,
and I have the
whoa.
authority to do
this
that.
This is why I'm saying, Your
Okay,
Honor,
ma'am.
that I don't completely understand my rights. But what
Well, then
I
I
do
suggest, ma'am, that
understand
you
is that
seek cat
hearsay
counsel, that you
is not
seek...
admissible.
Miss
Yes,
Balle,
hearsay.
Miss Balle, this court ordered you to go take a drug test because I was concerned
On
about
what
your behavior.
ground? On what ground?
Based on
Just
my
on a
authority
whim?
as the judge of this case, ma'am. So based upon that, I
But
ordered you
just
to take
for
a
no
drug test to
reason.
prove. You said you weren't using. I said, then just show me. You didn't go take the
And
drug
that's-
test,
No,
ma'am.
no. I'm just asking on what grounds this was supposed to go on, because it just seems like Mr. Rosé says, I want to do this, so we do that.
Well,
And there's
Miss
no
Balle,
proof,
I
it's
have
just-
two issues today that I'm going to address. Let's address the second one. I've already addressed this one. The court finds that you are positive for using drugs based upon your failure to appear for the
No,
drug
I am
test
not,
I ordered.
and there's
Number
no
two.
proof that you can't
Number
go
two, Miss
mudslinging
Balle.
like that.
Number two, Miss Balle. You were ordered to present your records that you said you got. That you were.
Yeah,
I
again,
ordered you to
that is
present them
a-
in camera. Do you understand what that means? Without
Okay,
them
Your
being
Honor,
public.
you should have them then. You
I
should
don't
have
see them, ma'am. Did you submit them? I don't
Well,
see that you
did
submitted them.
anybody send a subpoena over there for them? I don't know. I signed. So,
Miss Balle, I
that's
ordered
what I'm
you,
saying.
ma'am. I'm going to repeat what my order was again, okay? That you shall file with the court in camera your records with the court. That's what we talked about,
okay,
ma'am.
again, Your
You
Honor,
did you
with
do
all
that?
due respect,
My answer. I just need your answer to my question, ma'am.
okay, and I talked to my therapist, and they feel that this is a HIPAA violation because it's based on.
Okay, well, the court ordered
There's
you to
not even
present
an
them to
order.
the court because, listen to me, ma'am, custody, one of the factors in NRS 125C0035, ma'am, one of the factors is the mental and physical health of the parents. Do you understand that? If
Okay,
you have
well,
a problem with
Mr.
that part of the
Balle-
statute, you would have to take it up with the legislature, ma'am, but that's, I
Well,
have
I'm
to enforce
sorry.
the
I
laws as
brought to your
written.
attention numerous times that Mr. Balle in another case admitted to giving a 12-year-old drugs. So you are not listening to anything real.
This is all hearsay. He has a record. It's in the record.
Okay, ma'am, you're going to have a chance at the evidentiary hearing to determine that,
Oh, no,
okay?
you took away my child.
Yep, until you present that evidence that I've asked you to present, I did. I didn't take away your child. I suspended it until you provide your proof of your therapy. And you were ordered to provide
You
proof
allowed
of your therapy.
him to withhold visitation over and over again.
Okay,
over
Miss Balle, you're not listening to me. So you're saying you did not submit those records. Is that correct?
The records are with the therapist.
Okay, again, I ordered you to present them to the...
I told them.
I ordered you
It's
to
up to them
present...
to get them there.
Ma'am?
They will not give me medical records.
They will give you your
All I
medical
can do is
records,
tell
ma'am.
them.
They're your medical records. So, with that being
Right,
said,
but-
ma'am, based upon it, I suspended your visitation
All you can do
until...
is sign a form.
Ma'am, I've
That's all you
addressed
can
you
do, Judge, is
twice.
sign a form.
Ma'am, you're not listening to me. Please
I
listen.
signed the form.
Madam Clerk, will you please mute her so I can talk? All right, Miss Balle, I'm going to speak and then I'm going to unmute you in a minute, so I need you to listen to me. I am not hearing you because I muted you because you will not stop and let me speak. So, I ordered you to submit your records, your therapy records, in camera so it would be private and only that Mr. Rizé would have to come and review the documents. You did not do so. At that time, I said that I'm suspending visitation temporarily until you do so. You still have not done so. I show an evidentiary hearing scheduled for August 25th is the first day, August 26th and 27th, and your day of the calendar call is August 19th. Based upon that, I have no choice but to continue this suspension because you failed to present the documents. Ma'am, if you decide to present the documents and you want to request a hearing, the court will be happy to hear from you. Just let my court know and we'll set it back on calendar. Now unmute her, please, Madam Clerk. Oh, okay. I guess you did. She didn't mute you, ma'am. So, okay, now I can hear you. So that is my order. I have an evidentiary hearing set, ma'am, and I will address all of this in trial. That's what the trial is set for. The evidentiary hearing is scheduled for the 25th, 26th, and 27th of August with the calendar call on the 19th. Mr. Rizé, she hasn't presented. Mr. Rizé, she has not presented any of the documents, nor has she taken the test. I'm deeming that test to be a positive test. I will see everybody in trial. Is there anything else
No, you cannot do that. You can't just create evidence. You can't just
I
say
made
something
my
and make
ruling,
it
Miss
true.
Balle. I've made my ruling. Mr. Rizé, is there anything else you would like to add that I need to hear?
Will the minutes suffice, or should I prepare an order, Judge?
The minutes will suffice, counsel. I'm happy to hear from her. If she wants to submit her therapy records, I'm happy to put it back on calendar, but that's going to be my order, and I will see everybody back here at the calendar call pending anything else that's been submitted.
So he gets away with keeping my child from
Thank
me.
you,
You have done
Ma'am, you
nothing.
had an opportunity to do
enforce
so.
it.
You had an opportunity to
No,
submit
you
your
didn't
therapy
enforce
records
it. I
and
didn't
take a
do
drug test.
anything.
Ma'am,
This is because I tried to enforce orders.
ma'am, again, I've asked you to follow my orders, and you haven't done so.
I have not done anything. I have no criminal history.
Well,
There's
ma'am,
no grounds for this.
I made an order for you to show that you
well,
aren't
you know
using
what,
drugs
Judge?
and you failed to take the drug test. I will see
Judge,
you
I'm
back
going
here
to
for the
ask
calendar
that you
call.
disqualify yourself on the basis that you have gotten favors from Mr. Rosé before you were elected. You were in his magazine.
Okay, ma'am, you can file a motion to disqualify with the chief judge, file an affidavit, and I will address it when you do
It's on
so.
its way down.
Ma'am, you need to file it, and whenever I'm served with it, properly served with it, I'll be happy to answer it. Thank you for your appearance. I'll see you back here in August. Thank you for your appearance.